Broad Street.
Oh, emphasis on the misery. Oh, my God.
You go.
Nobody does misery, ladies and gentlemen, quite like Philadelphia sports. Welcome to the Broad Street Misery podcast, the Fly Eagles Fly podcast on the Broad Street Misery Network. I am Corey Alexander along with
Jay Bliss.
And we have cried ourselves into a ball of tears the past week. We had, and our trivia is early tonight, we had all three teams lose on the same day. Since what year? And if you get that one, that's pretty good. Now, the other part of that question is, how many other cities has that happened to where they have lost their hockey, football, and baseball professional games in one day?
Right.
That's our early trivia question. If you get that, we have a lot of prizes for you. So make sure you're subscribed to all of our social networks. We got a lot to cover besides this misery, Jay. I have my tissues ready, usually for other reasons, but that'll be for crying today. So we're shouting out to you, ladies and gentlemen, because we need your help tonight, because I have a lot of good questions tonight for Jay. One of which is that he'll finally admit that Bigsby was one of the worst trades of all time, and he will admit that. And then the other thing is we got a lot to talk about early before we get to the game of misery, because we have a lot to dissect in that game, and I think there's a lot that's going to come out, Jay, that we didn't talk about, that I've been reading about, and I think we got to discuss that as well. So let's get to a couple little minor things before we get to the replay, and of course, as always, our Minnesota preview coming up. All right. The biggest thing that's going to start with this is, what have we harped on, or at least that I have harped on? One of my biggest concerns so far this year, Jay. Can you remember?
What, Kevin Patullo?
Well, that is number one. You're right. I can't deny that. It's not what I was thinking, but absolutely that is number one. Yes. Number two, though, really on the defense, what have I harped on the defense?
No pressure on the quarterback.
Bingo. Now, that being said, here's one of my first questions to you and everybody else out there. Zadarius Smith retires. Unbelievably, he has the most sacks of the DNs. So technically, he's our best player, who is retiring midweek this week. Just says, you know what? I'm hanging it up. My gut instinct, by the way, Jay, on this is, and I didn't read anything about this, and nobody really knows, because he just apparently went to the guys and just said, hey, I'm just done. I think I've lost my passion. But I have to believe, Jay, that there is something going on in that locker room that made Zadarius Smith go, I was prepared to come to a team that I thought had Super Bowl aspirations, and I'm just not feeling it. Chemistry-wise, team-wise, I believe he saw something that he didn't like, and that's why he's retiring. That's my guess. You can disagree, but that's my guess.
You're reading too far into it. Like, you got to realize this man is a veteran. This dude is old. And most professional football players will tell you, you know when you know. You know when it's time to retire, when you just don't have it anymore. And it's not the game itself. It's the preparation. It's the pain after the game. It's the recovery. And you realize he did it during a short week. Like, he played on Sunday, he played on Thursday, and he got to bed and was like, hell no, like, I can't do this. Now, it didn't help that they lost 2 games in a row, right? So it was a loss on Sunday, you come back and you lose on Thursday. And now his body's trying to recover. And he's like, you know what, man, I've played football enough, right? You got 11 more games. He like, I can't, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. That's how I look at it, right?
Okay.
So I think that you reading into it, like, this is a brand new person into the team. He can't know everything that's going on like that. He was on Detroit last year. I mean, don't act like they wasn't a train wreck until they got to the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have came back. He could have went back to them. And so
I think last year was
training camp. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was a veteran. He wanted to come in, slide in, play a couple games. Now, the fact that we had the injuries and he had to play as many snaps as he played, that probably contributed to it as well. Because if we had our other defensive ends in, he was only coming in a couple times. He wasn't coming in and playing 4 or 5 series.
I'll give that the most credence of all of our opinions. that he was not expecting to play like a billion snaps. That for sure. That was unexpected. And I agree with that one. That was probably one of his major decisions. But I still believe there's something smelling over there that just doesn't feel right this year. And that's my thing. But anyway, all right, let's move on from that because now we know, speaking of Howie's shitty trades, because I'm telling you, Bigsby, man, dude, I want to flick that guy off like a booger into like the 700 level and have him never come back.
Who do you dislike more? Bigsby or Ringo?
Oh, that is a toss-up. But I'm going to give it to Ringo because I expected more from Ringo.
Thank you. But
I still hate Bigsby. Anyway, because of his retirement, now here's the question to you and to everybody out there. We have, by the way, we only have 4 healthy edge rushers. We have Hunt, Uche, Ojulari, and Patrick Johnson.
Right.
Does not strike fear in anybody across this league. Not one person. Howie knows that Smith is coming back, but that still is not going to strike fear because somebody's got to be cut in this team. I mean, those guys just don't show me anything. I mean, Patrick Johnson shows me a little stuff because that guy just tries hard every play. So I love that guy. He's just not going to get it done because he's too small. Jalix Hunt, we'll see. I mean, Sirianni's playing the violin stuff like, oh, he's getting better every week, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. We'll see. But Uche and Ojulari, it's just, and I don't think the guy from Cleveland was going to do anything anyway. So there's 5 guys out there that we could possibly get. Who do you most likely think will come here, number one? The second question is, who would you like to see come here?
You talk about
most likely thing. But here's the 5 guys, okay? Yeah, who do you think will come here? So based on reasonableness of trade, and then who would you like to come here? 2 different questions.
I thought you were about free agents.
No, right now for trades. So you got Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals. You got Bradley Chubb from the Dolphins. You got Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins. You got Jermaine Johnson from the Jets. And you got Cameron Jordan. By the way, he's 36, not 33. So it looks like Cameron Jordan can suck it up like a buttercup and still play this game on opposed like Zadarius Smith, who's 33, 3 years younger, who can't do it. So don't give me that tired crap. And Cameron Jordan, by the way, plays the run and the pass equally well. Kind of like a Brandon Graham, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Brandon Graham's coming back. I don't want him back. I just think that would sully his good tenure here because I just don't think he's got a lot left in the tank. So of those 5 guys, who do you think would come here and who would you like to come here?
Well, it's not who would they come here because if they get traded, they have no choice.
No. Who would you like to come here and who do you think would come here? You personally. Not who was likely to, because their trade is their trade. Yeah.
Yeah. It will be Chubb first and then Hendrickson second. So
you're saying most likely Chubb will come here, but you'd like to see Trey Hendrickson come here. Is that what you're saying?
No. I would say Chubb or Hendrickson will come here, both of them equally. And I would pick Chubb first and Hendrickson second.
Okay. So you think either one will come here.
Yeah.
And then you would like to see Chubb come here first and then Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have it in the exact disorder. I think I would like to see Trey Hendrickson come here, even though he's 30. But Bradley Chubb's not far behind. He's only 29. And I think Bradley Chubb will come here. And if everybody asks, why do we think I think Chubb will come here, is because he played with Vic Fangio's defense in Denver for 3 years.
Yeah.
The other aspect of that is, so here's the bottom line. So Trey Hendrickson, he's on a 1-year contract. They bumped up his salary for a year. He's on a 1-year deal though, but he wants to sign long-term and he's 30 years old. So I don't know. Yeah, I know. Just before you get into it, let me give the whole look up first.
All right. Okay.
Bradley Chubb is 29, played with Vic for 3 years. So that's a good thing. And he signed for 3 more years, but he's got no guarantees after this year. So he signed for this year and 2 more years. So it's not 3 years, by the way, after this year. It's 2 years after this year, but both years after this year are non-guaranteed. So if Bradley plays well, I assume that they will manipulate that contract, that there'll be some guarantees, but lower the overall salary, but give him guarantees over the next 2 years. That could probably happen. You got Jalen Phillips, who is 26 with the Dolphins, but unfortunately he's very injury prone. And he was a great player early on, but has not played well since and has a lot of injuries since. So he would be the guy you would trade for if you think he's going to be less injured and be the monster that he was in the first couple of years. Jermaine Johnson's kind of like the same thing. He was pretty good his first couple of years, but he became injury prone as well. Now, Jalen Phillips is in his last year of his rookie year, so he has nothing past this year. Jermaine Johnson is in his 4th year. but they did exercise the 5th year. So Jermaine Johnson has a 5th year option that is exercised. So he is signed through next year, unlike Jalen Phillips. They're both 26, both injury prone, both were monsters, and both are not now. So it'd be interesting between the two of those. The last one, and I don't think this is ever going to happen, but is Cameron Jordan. He's 36 and he's equally good in pass and rush, but he's 36. I would believe that he would be the perfect guy a year ago when we lost Brandon Graham. He would have been the perfect guy to bring in because he would have been in that 4-man rotation, playing very little and being the perfect rotation guy. We need somebody who can play like 50% of the downs, which he cannot.
Right.
So I agree. I think that they will try to shoehorn Bradley Chubb out of the Dolphins, especially with the 3 years total. I don't know, but if you could get Jalen Phillips back to the way he was, I think he would be a phenomenal fit for this defense.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, ultimately, I think we'll talk about this a little bit later, but we just got to change up the defensive scheme. So, I mean, right now it is what it is. Like, you got to work with what you have. And, you know, it's not plug and play. We're not going to be able to find somebody and all of a sudden they're going to change everything.
Right.
I mean, defensive ends, like, literally can make maybe 4 plays a game. Maybe.
Right.
And then some days you have games where they don't do anything. Like, for instance, Darius Smith didn't do much of anything against Denver.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, he barely showed up. He showed up against the Rams, and that was like basically it, you know? So I don't put too much into it. We have much more issues than just the defensive line.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again,
yeah,
but this would help begin to me that domino effect that once the D line kind of fixes itself, everything else will fix itself. Like you were saying in the preseason, I'm worried about the other side. And you're like, what they'll do is they'll just roll coverage the other side because they have the D line giving the pressure. They don't have that luxury right now.
Right.
So I agree, but that's where it starts to me, Jay, is that if once you fortify that first part, everything else will fall in line.
Yeah.
Let's not get too much into that. So here's another quick question. By the way, here's a great thing before we get into anything else. Your boy CJ GJ, I told you a week ago that he had signed as a practice squad to the Ravens.
What did I say? What did I say? Let's go back and see the tape. What did I say? That's why
people, you should tune in because this man is a soothsayer. You said it you said a couple of weeks, but it was less than a week. It was less than a week.
I told you he was going to be gone. I told you. I already told you.
Well, it wasn't. Now he says because they traded for the safety and then he wasn't playing, but who the hell knows? But anyway, 1 week and CJGJ is gone. So he's out of the market again. Who the hell knows? So here's my, I got 2 more questions, and I know this one, the last question is going to send you in a tizzy. Brian Callahan was just fired. He was the Bengals OC for years and was phenomenal as the Bengals OC. Great offense out there. Had 2 great wide receivers, a very good, an elite quarterback, of course, in Burrow, one of my favorites. He made that offensive hum. So he just got fired. Do you consider bringing him in to the Eagles right now?
I consider everybody except for Kevin Patullo. I consider everybody. I don't care if it's Doug Peterson, Frank Reich, Callahan.
You know, Dougie P is a free agent, baby. He's totally out there.
Anybody and everybody except for Kevin Patullo. You have Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, and we have the 30th ranked offense.
Hey, don't forget about the white guy, Dallas Goedert.
I'm just saying, it doesn't make any sense. Like you out here playing high school plays with that much talent on your team, and you can't find a mismatch and get the person open. That is ridiculous.
All right, so you're fine with anybody else. Okay, so I absolutely consider I'm doing the same thing. I'm bringing somebody as my offensive consultant to get for the first couple of weeks to get the rhythm of this offense, and then I'm banging out Kevin Patullo and I'm putting somebody else in there. Yeah. But I want them in a couple of weeks. But how they didn't do this in the down week that they had, I have no idea.
Well, do remember this. Remember when they brought in the defensive coordinator from New England?
But he was in the beginning of the season, though.
I don't care.
Okay.
They switched the defensive coordinator out in the middle of the season,
and it got worse. I know.
It got worse. It's like I don't care. Do that. Like at this point, we got to do something.
Right. Okay. You're saying this would be a different situation than that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man. Let's let's address the elephant in the room and say what it is. Like, stop doing this whole press conference and saying, nah, he's a good guy. He's doing better. He's learning. Like, nah, man, say that dude is trash. He trash. Every fan will tell you he's trash. They're like, don't blame Kevin Patullo. Yes, blame Kevin Patullo.
All right, so here's the deal. The last one, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never seen Jay upset, you're about to see him lose his mind, his ever-loving mind. Ready? Watch Jay lose his mind when I say this, because he'll take the glasses off, he'll lean back, and he's going to start firing flames at me. Howard Eskin this week. I knew it.
No, man. Go ahead, man. I don't even want to. Let's just end the podcast right now, dude. I know where you about to go. This is dumb, dude. This is stupid.
Just 1 minute. Just take 1 minute. I'm not talking about the whole podcast.
Man. Go ahead.
So Howard Eskin said the best QB on the Eagles is not playing right now. Give me your 30 seconds thought. I just want to hear. I have to hear what you have to say because this is important.
Howard Eskin, I'm gonna use his word, is a dope. He's an idiot and he's a dope. He's been a dope. He's always a dope. And he's going to be proven wrong again because he had the same stupid stuff to say last year when we was 2-2. Same stupid stuff when we was 2-2.
Okay.
He claims that McKee is a better quarterback. And he's wrong. He's a backup quarterback for a reason. He'll get in a game. He'll make a couple of plays and they'll be like, oh, yeah, he's doing a great job. And then all of a sudden, it'll hit the fan. He'll look horrible, and then it'll be like, well, let's put Jalen Hurts back in. Well, we should have never took Jalen Hurts out in the first place. People need to realize Jalen Hurts has had a different offensive coordinator almost every single year he's been in the league. And every single year, he's proven everybody wrong. He had Steichen 2 years in a row, and he went to the Super Bowl. Every other time, he had one coordinator per year, and he still had winning records. This man has been in the playoffs every single year he's been a starter. Every single year he's been in the playoffs. And then, yet he wants to talk about McKee is the better quarterback. Where? This dude is in practice every day. And then when we played the game against Washington, when McKee came in, we lost that game.
No, it actually was Kenny Pickett.
Pickett came in, right. Then was it McKee played the next game, right?
The next game, yeah.
He played against Dallas.
Yeah.
And
the Giants. And he beat the Cowboys and the Giants back to back.
He beat the Cowboys and the Giants. And everybody is going off of that, right? We said the same thing about Nick Foles. We was like, oh, Nick Foles is a better quarterback. He's better than Carson Wentz. He wasn't better than Carson Wentz. Everybody has to admit he wasn't better than Carson Wentz. And when he got in the game and Carson Wentz came back, we saw the difference between who was better between Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. Yes, Nick Foles did come in when Carson Wentz got hurt, but don't forget, y'all, Carson Wentz, but Nick Foles had 2 good games. He had 2 good games in that playoff run against Minnesota, and he had a good game against New England. That was the only 2 games he had that was good. The other 2 games, he was trash. 3 games, he was trash.
Was I right, everybody? Was I right? It's tough.
Howard Eskin, you a dope.
You heard it here first, folks. We're breaking news. All right. Real fast, the last thing before we get to the game, A.J. Brown wanted to clear everything up. He just said to clear up the whole thing with the meeting, because I don't know if everybody heard this, but they asked him after the Giants game or after practice one day, they said, what happened with this sit-down stuff? And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, I don't recall. Right. He said, let me clear this up. There wasn't a meeting or a sit-down. I said, I don't recall because it got painted like there was tension and Saquon had to step in or something. He's like, that's not true. I was walking to my car. I saw them. I stopped by. We talked. That's it. So he's making it more of like a very casual, whereas Saquon and Hurts both made it like we actually sat down and talked about this stuff. So I don't know who's right and wrong, but AJ's like, I don't care. We got to get this thing right. And I like AJ's response because that's what it really is all about. By the way, the Eagles are the first Super Bowl champion in NFL history to ever be outgained in yardage in each of their first 6 games of the next season. Unreal. The biggest thing with let's get into the game now. And I think this is what I'm going to read this little bit. This is something that was right before this game, but I think it still matches into this game. So this was something where I wrote this down, but basically I was watching a couple of different people. I was watching Ray Didinger and Brian Baldinger, Chris Long, all these guys, and just kind of put it together. But basically they're saying there's no creativity, as you were saying, in this play calling.
It's vanilla.
There's nothing in this Eagles keeping defenses off balance. So there's no creativity. There's no keeping off balance. The very predictable and stale aspect of this. There just seems that every time Patullo gets this offense in a rhythm, he takes them out of rhythm.
Yeah.
Every time the running back seems to be working, he changes to pass.
Yeah.
You see that plays get called back by penalties, potential big plays. Hurts and the receivers didn't connect. There's other aspects of this that are breaking this down for sure. Jalen Hurts overthrows, Devontae Smith. There is the interception, which we'll get to, that he had A.J. Brown wide open in the end zone, didn't see him. A lot of this stuff is not Patullo's fault. We get that. But the play calling still is a lot to be desired. So, the Eagles, by the way, have had 22 drives with no first downs and no points this year. That's the second most in the league to the Vikings, by the way, who have 23. By the way, the Eagles last year, Jay, they had 40 total last year drives with no first downs and no points. 40 total. We're already halfway there, and we're not even halfway into the season yet.
Yeah.
We're more than halfway there.
Yeah.
They've gone 2.4 3 and outs per game in 2004 and 2024 to 4.4 this year. So we've more than doubled what we did last year already. And then according to Sports Track, the Eagles have the second youngest roster in the NFL with an average of 26. So that is also in my mind too for defense when we're talking about them in a little bit. But the bottom line is, I think, Jay, it is hard to repeat as NFL champions.
Absolutely, 100%.
Between the schedule, between the injuries, between everybody taking their best shot, it is not easy to repeat. So we have to keep reminding ourselves, okay, they're 4-2. They look shitty 2 games.
Yeah.
But you're talking about everybody pulling the bow and arrow back all the way to the very bitter end and then launching that thing right into their heart. Yeah. That's going to happen every game.
Yeah.
We still have a lot of game to play and a lot of season to play. I'm willing to be like, yeah, they were shitty. Yeah, they lost a lot of my love. But I'm still willing to say, yeah, we got to right this ship. And the next 2 games are going to give me a lot of insights in that. If they lose the next 2 games, and I know you'll balk at that, but if they lose that,
come on, bro, come on, man, you sound crazy right now.
I love his like.
Go ahead, keep going.
If they lose the next 2 games, just for the sake of argument, where do you think this season will end up if they lose the next 2 games?
We'll still make the playoffs.
Okay. Do you think they're well in the division if they lose the next 2 games?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This division, listen, this division is no different than Tampa Bay playing in the NFC South. There's all like I've seen a lot of Dallas their defense is a joke. Our defense is bad, but their defense is a joke. You can score 40 on them easy. Y'all, okay? So I'm not worried about them at all. I'm not worried about the Giants. That was their Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like that was their Super Bowl. They're like, oh God, we beat the Eagles. They got 1 more week, and then we play them again, and it'll be a whole total opposite. Total opposite. They are not going to do that again. And I'm not worried about Washington. I'm just not. We don't play them until so late. I'm not even worried about Washington.
Okay. The biggest thing I thought to this game, though, the bounce back opportunity from that loss to the thing was a lopsided loss. So that really shocked me. You didn't have Jalen Carter. I get it. But with that offense,
right,
the defense didn't scare me enough that we can't crack this. They didn't have a great secondary. Our offensive line did a hell of a great job for the most part. And that was when Jalen Hurts wasn't running into sacks or holding the ball too long. That offensive line created a very nice pocket for him most of the time.
Right.
So he had his opportunity. So that ability to bounce back was really concerning. The other biggest thing, I don't know if you saw this. I saw a bit of lack of fight in the Eagles for that game. These Giants were doing backflips. They're laughing on the sidelines. They're high-fiving the refs. They really were kind of tap dancing on our grave. And I didn't see anybody give like a big hit or a little push or something to be like, we got to get our respect back. Did you notice that?
I didn't care. I mean, this, like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to realize the Giants are beating this defending Super Bowl champs. Like, they are excited. It's supposed to be
hold on, before you get into that, but putting that aside, where was the fight? Where was the attitude? Where was the pounding your chest like we got to get back in this game, like let's be better? I just didn't see that from them. I forget about the Giants. I'm talking about us. I think it's about us.
You fail to realize that there was fight because we came back and took the lead. We did come back and take the lead. Then we had 2 drives that were horrible, and then we had a turnover. So it's like you got to realize like it was there. It's just like we were going to fight until the end of the game. But I think that fumble really killed us. I think the fumbles really killed us.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, I felt like it would have went down to the wire, and we would have found a way to win the game if we had not fumbled that last turnover. But I mean, when you say we didn't have any fight, like I didn't see it that way. I mean, I saw it as like it was a bad performance by the offense and a bad performance by the defense, and you can't have 2 bad performances. Special teams was bad too. Like it was a lot of things going wrong. You understand what I'm saying? And then like some people just fail to realize too. Like you talk about defensive ends and we not getting pressure on the quarterback. Jalen Carter didn't play. And we just talked about that the week before. He's like, oh, Jalen Carter got to be better. He got to be in better shape. Da, 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 da. Like, I'm telling you, that dude changes everything. He does. And I'm going to tell you, when we play the Giants again, you're going to be like, wow, it looked like night and day. I'm like, wow, because one person was there. That's the difference.
But that's pretty bad when one guy is going to dictate your whole defense.
But listen, man, that's just what it is. It's no different than anything else when you go play a team. When we go play the Vikings this week, who's the one player we got to make sure we pay attention to?
Justin Jefferson.
Thank you. It's the same thing when they play the Eagles. They don't worry about Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. They don't worry about Zach Bond. They worry about Jalen Carter. That's what their game plan is about. Stop 98.
All right, so hold on real fast. I thought the biggest part of their game plan, and this is weird for Vic, but the Eagles had to have known the best way to defend Dart was to keep him in the pocket.
Right.
But they lost contain on multiple occasions.
You realize again, with Jalen Carter, listen, that running around, that would have not happened if 98 was on the field. He went past the line 2 times. I'm like, man, that dude would have got mollywopped if he came across there and Jalen Carter was in the game. He would have been like, I ain't doing that again.
I just thought that was pretty big, somebody was responsible for that. And I'll get that in the linebacker stuff because I thought the linebackers didn't have a great game, and I'll tell you why. And it's weird again, because I think you're right. That turnover was big, but I think the pick was bigger first, because if you watch that catch 22, AJ Brown's coming on the back of the end zone, and he's coming free big time. And if Hurts leads him, that's a touchdown. He looked short-sighted to Devontae, and the guy broke off from Dotson and cut that throw.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't have cut that throw in the thing because nobody was behind. Nobody could see that AJ Brown was breaking away. And by the time Jalen already threw that pass, that was over. So I think that was the big one to me. I thought Chris Long said a very good thing, by the way, about Patullo. He says, it looks like he's just calling plays, not calling a game. That's very prophetic.
Yeah.
Because the creativity is not there. The pre-snap motion is just and he's like, there's no identity to this offense. Running last year was the identity of that offense, and then throwing passes based on that. So he's like, Patullo is just sending plays out, but he's not putting those plays in order to develop something that's going to be really good. That, what I believe, Chris Long just nailed it. There's no buildup. There's no climax to the ascension of this movie. It's like this meaningless characters are just walking around with no plot and no ending.
I think the focus on the next 2 games has to be running the ball.
I agree.
It has to be. And that means Jalen running the ball too.
Yeah.
It just has to be, because they have to have fear that the running game is causing a problem for their defense to change up and for the passes to be open. Like, that's just what's going to have to happen. We got to run the ball. We're not running the ball this year at all. At all.
I know. And the biggest thing is Jalen is not running much.
He's not running either, right?
And that's where the defense is like, if he's not running, then we're not scared about anything.
We're not worried about anything. Yeah. So like I said, that's the focus on the next 2 games. I'm not worried about anything else. If they're not running the ball, I don't care if we go out there and throw for 400 yards. If we're not running the ball, we are not better.
Okay. All right, we're half past the hour, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into our details of this game and our preview coming up with Minnesota. All right, first things first. Let's get to our 4 points here, and let's get to those one at a time. All right, Jay, let's lead this off. Give me your number 1 4-point.
Kevin Patullo is in the hot seat.
Yes, he is.
He's in the hot seat, man. Like, I literally think he's going to be done by the midseason. He's going to be out of here.
Okay. Number 1 for me was the defense being bullied. I thought that defense, I mean, Carter notwithstanding, whatever you want to get into the reasons why.
I think that's a big part of it. I think that him not
they got bullied.
Him not being there shows a lot. I don't think that Scottabo or whatever his name is gets those type of runs with Jalen Carter in the middle along with Jordan Davis. It just doesn't happen. I'm sorry. Right. He gets a lot of runs for loss on that first and second down. It causes Dart to have to throw way more than he was. And I just think it changes everything. If you make Jackson Dart throw the ball 30, 40 times, we definitely win the game. Win the game.
I'll say this, by the way. Say what you want about CJGJ, but that dude played 100 miles an hour every time, and he would have not let that defense play like that the whole game. He just would not have.
Yeah, he'd have gave up 2 touchdowns too, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "You guys got to do better." Oh, what the hell is that?
Yeah, let's touchdown on you.
Over his head.
Yeah, right.
All right, number 2 point of the 4-point. What do you got?
You got to give your number 1, right? You gave your number 1 already?
Yeah, so the defense is being bullied.
Yeah. My number 2 is the run game has to improve, and I just talked about that. So that's what I'll be looking for the next 2 games is the run game. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I think you're right. To me, again, it's the same thing with Patullo, just inconsistent offense. I mean, you're seeing for the second week in a row, the offense clicking in the first half, like, wow, they finally figured it out. And then in the second half, nothing. And I mean, nothing.
Right.
And that's 2 games in a row, Jay. And that just irritates me. That just cannot. It's almost like you couldn't even dream of that being 2 games in a row. It just couldn't even be possible. And the Eagles did it.
Right.
Number 3 for you.
Blitz more. So we're going to have to dial up more blitzes because we're not getting the pressure from the defensive ends.
Nope.
So what that means is you got to change the scheme. Like Vangelis have to come in, figure something out where he's going to have to blitz more, exotic blitzes, corner blitzes, safety blitzes, just to get the pressure off the quarterback to throw that ball fast. And let's see if that works. I mean, you do expose yourself for big plays, and I know Vic Fangio don't like to giving up the big play. But at some point, we're going to have to trust that back in, and we're going to have to try to get that ball.
All right, my number 3, which you're going to love, I really think that Jalen needs to lead more. Jalen is not a talker. He's not a rah-rah guy. But people look to him for consistency, and he has lacked that consistency for 3 games. And especially with the turnover. So I like that he got it out of the way. Like, look, you threw a pick. It's done. Now I would hope that you would say, okay, I already threw my pick. I'm not going to be perfect this year. So now that it's off your chest and that monkey's off your back, just play like you. Just play wild. Throw that interception deep. I don't give a shit. If it's a toss-up and AJ loses that, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that interception. Just play more free and lead more by example that you know how to win this game.
Yeah.
You did it for 4 games. You haven't done for 2, and a little bit of the 4th game you didn't. So I need more Jalen to lead this team by example and not by anything else. Number 4 for you.
McKee is not the answer. Y'all relax, man. Relax with that nonsense for real. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if Jalen Hurts get hurt and he come in the game, y'all gonna come to the realization and be like, damn.
Hey, Ryan, what's going on, my man?
We're going to need Jalen Hurts back quick. You know what I mean?
Long 4-part comment coming. Too long to be on a comment. Is that okay? Yeah. Go ahead, man. Just give us what you got, Ryan, because we got a lot of stuff we covered. Give us your thoughts on who we should trade DN. Give us your thoughts on if we should trade for or not trade, get a new offensive coordinator, all that good stuff. Your thoughts on the Giants game. We're already getting into our stuff. So that's your number 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 4 for me is turnovers.
Yeah.
It's not AJ Dillon. He's not a fumbler, and AJ's not. I mean, and Hurts is not an interception thrower. But I like that it happened. I like it against a subpar team. Get it out of your way. We fumbled. We threw a pick. All right, we're not going to be perfect all season, so get it out of your system now that it's done. Take care of that ball and no turnovers. Because with Minnesota, as you said, if we get that run game going, keep Justin Jefferson, which is their biggest asset, off the field, we're good.
Yep.
because if we have to do 3 and outs again, they're going to eat us alive. I don't care if it's JJ Corey or Wentz. Justin Jefferson is going to get open against Ringo. It's just going to happen because I don't believe that what's his face. I don't believe Q is coming back.
Yep.
All right, let's get to our game ball on offense. Real fast from Ryan. We need to run it around 20%. Yeah, we're just talking about that, Ryan. It's necessary the next 2 games, as Jay indicated. We got to start running this ball.
Yeah.
The 5 and 10 yard pass. Yeah, we just talked about that too, Ryan. My biggest thing is throw the ball deep. If AJ doesn't catch it or Devontae Smith doesn't catch it, I don't care. I don't care.
I think they had enough long shots out of the last 2 games. They had enough long shots. Some of them hit, some of them didn't. You know what I mean? But it keeps the defense honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's you got to understand, right? He is not big on the middle of the field and throwing those 10 to 15 yarders. I think he needs to get more comfortable with that. I think they need to dial that up more because Goddard had a great game. You can see what he can do in that 10 to 15 yard range. You see what Goddard can do. He gets open.
Yeah.
We got to start doing that, right? Good. And again, it's about not keeping on the ball, short pass. Yep. All makes sense, right? Thank you for tuning in, man. We'll keep going here. Your game ball for you.
Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert. Yes, indeed. Good man. I love that game ball. You ready for mine?
Yeah.
Brandon Mann, baby. Brandon Mann. That guy gets no love. The white guy gets no love, man. Come on. That dude, I mean, honestly, you look at that kind of game, you got to agree with me. There's the only good thing about that was the punting. He was great.
Yeah.
So I really believe that Brandon Mann, he's having a great year, and I hope he gets some kind of recognition of what he did. I know that punting is not the greatest part about the game, but you got to give some love to the guy who really didn't have any flubs the whole game. Everybody else did. Yeah. Let's get to the drama queen, and I already peeked at yours. Yours is a great one.
Yeah, Brian Branch, man. I don't know what that was all about, but here's the thing. But here's the thing. Detroit Lions remind me of the New Orleans Saints when we went to the Super Bowl. And they were complaining like, oh, if we had been in that game, we would have won and this and that, da, 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 da. You had your chance to beat the Chiefs. You wanted to be in the Super Bowl the year before, but the Eagles was there, right? There's your chance. Play against the team that you would have played the Super Bowl against, and you came into their building and you lost. We came in that building and we won. What you got to realize is you played yourself as the top team in the NFC. You just shown that you weren't. And then you couldn't take the loss and you fight. And I'm like, dude, relax. It's one game. If you're going to lose a game, lose in another conference away. That's exactly the games you're supposed to lose. Don't lose at home. Don't lose in the NFC. You claimed you were getting blocked in the back. But you know what? You change that on the field. You don't wait till after the game to smack some dude in the face.
Yeah, and then by the way, that's what Jay's referring to is that Brian Branch, the reason he did smack a Chiefs player, Brian Branch, the safety of the Lions, smacked Juju Smith, the wide receiver of the Chiefs, and he claimed that because he got blocked in the back of a play that was a big play, and he said that it wasn't called by the refs. And I guess Juju, somehow I heard he talked a little smack to him, and then I guess Brian didn't like that, and that's why he smacked him in the helmet.
Listen, man, you a defender. You can hit that dude, I don't know how many times during the game. If he blocks you in the back, next play, like, yo, I got him. And then, like, when the play is over, get your little 15-yard penalty, smack him one time, like, hey, hit me in the back again. Watch what happens. During the game.
I like that. He be coming, be like, Brian, be like, I got him.
I got him. No. I want him right here. Get right here.
But Brian, you got to get no.
No,
I want him.
Got him. You get in safety position. Yeah.
My drama queen wasn't as good. I like that was pretty good. I just put the D line just because I really thought they got bullied by a very weak, very, very weak Giants offensive line. I thought they got bullied, and I'm like, I can't even see how that's possible against the D line that should be way better than their offensive line. So that caused me too much drama this week. All right, let's get into the grades a little bit. What do you got for your all your different 4 grades?
Offense, I have a D. Defense, I have a C. Special teams, I have a C. And coaching, I have an F.
All right, offense, I had a D+. Defense, F. Special teams, B- because I thought they were the best part of the thing. And coaching was an F. I thought it was all bad. I'll get into some so things about the Dolphins and defense real fast before we get into our preview. So breaking down these grades. We always do this every time. So let's break down the grades a little bit. First and foremost, let's start with the defense. I want to start with the defense this time. The 4-0 record is now 4-2, and the Eagles blew a 14-point lead at home and lost by 17 points to a team that hadn't won a division game in 2 years. Let me repeat that. Giants have not won a division game in 2 years. They just won this week. Can't have that happen.
No. Yeah, that's right. And the last team they beat was us.
It's Howie and every other guy making sure this team will be very good at their best. Yeah, we just talked about that right earlier. We're talking about we definitely need maybe somebody corner. We definitely need somebody at defensive end. We probably need an offensive guard. There's talk about Cleveland, about getting maybe one of their D-backs and maybe one of their offensive guards. That's a rumor. Another rumor is trying to get Bradley Chubb from the Dolphins because he used to play with Vic. Right now, I don't think we need anybody on offense. Maybe that guard, if we get it from Cleveland, would be nice. But other than that, I think it's really concentrating on the defense right now because that's the one that's getting bullied. I think the offense, once they click, they'll get it going. So the Eagles haven't put together a consistent 60 minutes. So it's maybe Super Bowl hangover. Maybe it's Josh West, Darius Slay, Milton Williams, Isaiah Rodgers, Becton. Maybe it's they mean more than we thought. Maybe Howie needs to look to re-sign these people because maybe that consistency is pretty damn good. I get that he doesn't want to make the same mistakes in the past, but this might have been a good reason to stay consistent because Becton wasn't old.
No, Becton wasn't old, but you got so much. You only have but so much money, man. You can't give everybody.
I get it. And
you got to get ready to pay Jalen.
And I get that you can't. You got you're not doing to sign Milton Williams for sure, and probably not Sweat, but Isaiah Rodgers, you should have signed him. Becton, you should have.
But he believed Ringo was going to be good enough, and I mean, he made a mistake. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at it back now, like that was a draft bust. But we don't look at draft busts from Howie for some reason. We always look at his pluses. You know what I mean? It's like be more critical.
By the way, the only Giants quarterback with a winning record versus the Eagles over the last 50 years. That's another trivia question. Can you name the two quarterbacks, the only two Giant quarterbacks that have a winning record over the last 50 years? Not including Dart, by the way, who has a winning record is 1-0.
Phil Simms.
Incorrect.
Phil Simms doesn't have a winning record against the Eagles.
Remember, we used to beat them all the time, the Giants. Remember, we beat them.
I know it's not Eli because we used to beat Eli to death.
Yeah, it's not either of those guys.
Oh, so it's got to be somebody that only played a couple of times then.
Okay, so I'll give you one of them because the one guy was back in the early 80s. You don't remember him. Scott Bruner was 4-1 with the Eagles between 81 and 83. I'll give you a hint. This guy beat us. The other quarterback was 4-0 against us in 98 and 99.
Gary Collins?
No.
98, 99, 4-0. I don't know.
What kind of cracker do you eat with s'mores?
Graham?
Kent Graham, baby.
I don't even remember who that is. I don't even know who that is.
I remember him, and he was terrible.
99, that was Andy Reid's what? That was 99 was Andy Reid's first year, so.
And 98 was Rhodes' last year.
Yeah. That everything changed after that. Don't worry about that.
They knew the Giants were 30th in the NFL, by the way, on third down. They were 30th in the NFL on third down, by the way. They went 8 for 10. 8 for 10.
Look, man, that's fine. Back to your stat. Like the last team the Giants beat in the division was us.
Yeah, for 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
That was the last game Saquon played with them.
Yep. And that was the last game of the year.
Yep.
Adoree Jackson, by the way, 9 targets, 5 catches, 38 yards, 1 pass breakup. Keely Ringo, 5 targets, 4 catches, 73 yards, 2 penalties. Adoree's, by the way, for me, and everybody's like, well, let's just put Adoree Jackson there. Did anybody happen to see, by the way, Adoree Jackson's tackle or lack thereof on the goal line? Did you see that?
Yeah, unfortunately.
The guy's coming at him, and Adoree Jackson just kind of shouldered him and then just kind of leaned back and just let him in. And just let him in.
Yeah.
Those two guys, if I had the power, I would cut them both. Like, just based on that effort, you don't want to play for this team. And Ringo, I get that you have effort, but you suck. That's just the only problem. By the way, they've now allowed over 100 yards rushing in all 6 games for only the second time since 1971, dude. 1971.
We still have time to change it all.
Scatterboo ran 19 times for 98 yards and 3 touchdowns. The first player with 3 touchdowns rushing in a game since.
In a game?
3 touchdowns in a game against us. That hasn't happened since
Oh, against
2015.
us. Since when?
2015. You know who it was?
No.
David Johnson of the Cardinals. That was the last time. And by the way, he's the first Giant to ever do it. So I don't know if Scatterboo is going to become the Boston Scott of the Giants, but God help us if that happens.
Don't worry about it, man. Scatterboo, and we what's the guy was with Cleveland a few years ago, and he was on the Peyton Hillis?
Yeah.
He'll be Peyton Hillis. He'll have one good year, and then all of a sudden nobody hear from him again.
I thought Ajomo and Davis were so-so. I mean, Davis notched his second sack. Ajomo had some hurries, but they just didn't finish.
You just need Jalen Carter back in the game. Trust me, man.
Let me stir the pot, man.
I will, man. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I know you love this, man. You love this misery.
Outside linebacker Jay Luxon, he had decent coverage, I guess, when he dropped back, but he just, he couldn't get home. He just can't get home. Smith and Uche, really quiet nights. Ojulari, also a quiet night. Patrick Johnson did sack Dart. That's his first sack of his career, but again, it's just not enough. It's just not enough. Defensive tackle Brian Young had a hold of Dart before Davis picked up the sack. He had a costly face max penalty, so that guy seems to make one play forward, 10 back. Ty Robinson, which was the guy that we all thought was going to come in and be that fourth defensive tackle, he hasn't shown up at all. He had a tip pass in the third quarter. That's all he's done in 6 games. I'm really surprised that he has not done what we thought he was going to do.
Give him time.
Dotson and Robinson, 2 guys I really thought would be a lot bigger in the first 6 games. Off-ball linebackers, Bond and Jihad Campbell, I don't know if you noticed this, but they really, if you look at Catch-22, really struggle to get off their blocks all game.
Yeah.
Scatterboo dragged Bond into the end zone on the second touchdown, by the way.
Would not have happened if Jalen Carter was in the game.
Nakobe Dean did come back, but he only played special teams, so I'm wondering if that might be a little bit of a mix-up in getting Jihad Campbell a little bit on the defensive end side. We shall see in the next game. I think they wanted to ease him back in, but they might have to rush him back in. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Keely Ringo just had a bad night. He got boxed out by the receiver on that 34-yard jump ball reception, which is ridiculous. He got beat by receiver Waddale Robinson on the next drive, and then he didn't touch him before the receiver picked up 26 yards. Also, he committed an illegal contact penalty and a pass interference in the end zone. I mean, he just a terrible game. Quinyon looked good until he went into the medical tent. We'll see what happens with him. I don't believe he's going to play this week. I think they're going to hold him out one more week. Cooper DeJean had a very good game passing-wise, but his run defense, like everybody else's, was pretty weak. Mm-hmm. Drew Makuba showed his experience often in this game, I thought. He was late to Robinson during the dart scramble, missed the tackle on what would have been a 35-yard touchdown, what became a 35-yard touchdown. He did have a breakup in the end zone, but he made a stop, but he was just inexperienced with his direct line to tackle is not good. Also, he got blown up on the lead block on a Scatterboo 12-yard outside run, and he got toasted on the third down crosser for 22 yards. So he had a bad game. Reed Blankenship did okay, but he left the game after he collided with DeJean, and it was replaced by Epps. And they went right after Epps on third down and hit a 15 yards. So thank God Blankenship came back, but right then and there, bad. Offense, Jalen just said, I got to be better. On his fourth quarter pick, he said bad ball. I don't expect him to say a whole lot, but his first half, again, he's Jekyll and Hyde. 14 for 18, 164 yards and a touchdown, 123-yard passing rating and 17 points. Looked phenomenal. Second half, he missed Devontae Smith on that short touchdown pass. He missed A.J. Brown. And he was 10 for 15 in the second half, but only 119 yards. And with the interception, he put up an 85 passer rating. Lane Johnson said the key is being less predictable. I got to believe that he knows what he's talking about. I will take a Hall of Famer opinion over anything else. Let's see. Jalen Hurts. Let's see. Saquon Barkley had a productive game, I guess you call it. What would you say?
No, I mean, like I said, it's really just boiled down to if you start off fast, you start off for this next game, we run the ball effectively, it changes everything else. You're not talking about Jalen Hurts stats and what he missed and all that other stuff. You're running the ball is a bigger aspect of the game. Run the ball, run the clock, get the lead, control the turnovers, lead the turnover battle. Game is over.
Yeah. And it was the tale of two halves again because he rushed for 12 times for 58 yards and a 4.8 average. And then he had an 18-yarder and a 13-yarder looked really good. And then on his next 10 carries, he only gained 27 yards.
Right.
We went from averaging nearly 5 yards a carry to less than 2 yards, to about 2 yards a carry.
Patullo.
Wide receiver A.J. Brown, he finished with 6 catches on 9 targets for 80 yards. Got to be better than that. Their defensive secondary doesn't scare me at all. How does the guy only have 80 yards? Dallas Goedert, he had, he was obviously the best. He had 9 catches for 110 yards. I would love to see that more often, which would I believe, and you would probably agree, is going to let AJ and Devontae Smith have a bigger game if you can open up with him in the middle.
I think they give him the ball enough. I think he's getting the ball enough. I'm telling you, it's just not like it's not Goddard. It's not getting the ball to Goddard more. It's the fact that we're not running the ball. That's all it boils down to. We're doing everything else except for running the ball.
Okay. Eagles did have success on the ground a few times. They ran it through the first 2.5 quarters, but again, they just struggled in the second half, and he went away from it. Cam Jurgens had a nice little block. That's about it. Special teams. It wasn't a good day special team wise Sidney Brown. What is with him, dude? I would cut his ass in a second too. That's his 3rd personal foul in 6 games. 3rd. What the hell is he doing? Is he going down and punching somebody in the helmet? What is he doing on kickoffs? How are you getting a personal foul every time? I don't get him, man. He is really pissing me off. And Tank Bigsby and A.J. Dillon both muffed kickoffs. So I don't know what the hell's going on. And Tank, dude, just get rid of that guy, please. Just for the love of God, get rid of that.
I think you had to put Cooper DeJean back there.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
And again, the only thing is, too, is I don't mind having Dotson back there, but he fair catches every ball. Doesn't do anything with it.
Every time.
Every
time.
That guy waves more than a British queen.
That dude back there making business decisions.
You didn't like Mike waves more than a British queen? You didn't like? Come on, dude. That was money right there. That's gold, baby. Gold.
You get a shirt with Dotson on the going like this.
He's waving again from the bus.
Yeah.
The double-decker bus of the British Empire.
All right.
Stop waving it and run the damn ball.
Yeah.
Jake Elliott, field goal and made his extra points. Can't ask for more than, but Brandon Mann, dude, 53-yard average, dude. Come on 4 punts. And he angled a 52-yarder right near the sideline that netted no return. So good for him, man. All right, here we go. Quick Eagles stats, and then we'll get to the preview. So Eagles offense right now is 30th overall. They were 30th last week, so they didn't do anything. They were 31st in passing last week. They're 29th now. They were 25th in rushing. They're 25th again. They're only averaging 274 yards a game, dude. 274 yards a game in this offense. Pathetic. They were 14th in scoring. They're now 15th in scoring at 23 a game. Dallas, by the way, is number 1 overall in offense. San Francisco is number 1 in passing. Atlanta's number 1 in rushing. And Indy is number 1 in scoring now at 32. Your team, you love them. Eagles defense. Let's get to the stats here. They're 21st overall. They were 20th last week. In passing, they were 15th last week in passing. They're 12th in passing now. They were 22 in rushing last week. They're now 27th due to Scatterboo going all over them. They were 16th in scoring. They're now 19th in scoring at 23 a game. 23 a game, dude. So we can't get to the 17 thing anymore.
It'll happen.
All right. Atlanta, by the way, is number 1 defense, by the way, and they really put it to the Bills. They're averaging 253 a game. Good for Atlanta. And Atlanta's number 1 in passing. Green Bay is number 1 in stopping the run at 73 yards a game. And Houston is number 1 in scoring at 12 points a game. Wow. All right, last week's top 10, or last week's top 5, I had the Bills, Lions, Eagles, San Fran, Bucks. Who did you have last week?
Last week, I had the Eagles, Bills, Lions, Colts, Tampa.
All right, so everybody keep that in mind. Now, this week, top 5. Let's start at your number 5.
Steelers.
Wow. Okay, number 5 for me is Denver.
Okay.
Number 4, yeah, I know. See, he's angry already because he knows what my top 5 is now already.
Denver is trash, dude. Like
Denver's won 3 in a row, dude.
All right, that's fine.
They got to give it to him. Pittsburgh has not won. Pittsburgh's won 3 in a row too. So go ahead, number 4.
Green Bay.
I got 4 is Pittsburgh for me. So
Okay.
Denver, Pittsburgh. All right, number 3 for you.
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. Wow, 3. Okay. I got the Colts at 3 because they still got to prove it. But I tell you, Daniel Jones looking good. Number 2 for you.
Eagles.
Number 2 for me is Green Bay.
All right.
Number 1 for you.
Colts.
Colts. The Colts are number 1. Wow. For me, it's Tampa Bay. I think Tampa right now looks like the most complete team, even though we beat them.
They're not, because we beat them, so they can't be ahead of us. All right. You remember that. Y'all remember that he put the Bucks above the Eagles, and we just beat them. We just beat them.
If I don't piss him off, there's no show.
I'm just saying, y'all remember this. Y'all remember this. Is this your king? Now, I want to make sure y'all remember, he don't even have the Eagles in the top 5. Let's see what happens after this week. Real fast to go through the ESPN and NFL top 5. ESPN had Tampa, Lions, Bills, Colts, Eagles. They actually had the Eagles in the top 5. I know, because ESPN is smart.
NFL did not have the Eagles in the top 5. NFL had Tampa, Lions, Seahawks, Bills, Packers. I like the Seahawks. I like them a little less, but I don't think so.
Okay, the Seahawks play us right now. Who you picking?
Oh, I'm us.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to our Eagles Minnesota preview. The Eagles Minnesota preview right now. We're looking at both JJ and Wentz practicing right now. They are both practicing to the point of either one could play, but we don't know for sure who's playing just yet, so we'll figure it out. JJ McCarthy, after a shaky first 3 quarters in the season opener against the Bears, he led them to a 27-24 victory, coming back in the 4th quarter. McCarthy then faltered the following against the Falcons, who have a very good defense, going 11 for 21, 158 yards, and 2 picks. Carson Wentz came in and won the other week. By the way, they do have like the best 2 receivers in the NFL outside of AJ and Devontae. We got Justin Jefferson, who had 120 yards in both his last 2 games, by the way. Jordan Addison returned 2 weeks ago from a 3-game suspension, DUI. Coming from a cigar bar. I'm just kidding you. He made an impact on the offense right away, catching 4 passes for 114 yards in the Vikings' narrow loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers the other week. All right, so here's the thing. Minnesota's, their offense is pretty crappy, even though they got 2 of the best receivers. It's 25th in offense. Their run and pass are about in the 20s too, so they're not really crushing the pass or the run in their offense right now. However, Jay, what we have to worry about with the Vikings is their defense. Their defense is ranked 6th overall. They're a very good defense. They are number 2 in pass, meaning they will shut you down in the pass. They have a very good secondary and a good pass rush. The only thing they're vulnerable against, Jay, what do you think they're vulnerable against?
Minnesota?
Yes.
The run.
Correct. That's what he wants to see. So they are 20th against the rush. So what do we have to do? Pretty damn simple. Run the damn ball.
Yep.
So give me your outlook on the Eagles Minnesota preview with all of that good business.
I think we're gonna double cover Justin Jefferson. I think Addison will be the receiver that gets most of the yards. I think we'll be able to stop their run. I don't think they'll be able to run the ball effectively. I see us being able to score, not easily, but I still think us be able to score. I still believe in Fangio's defense of giving up the yards between the 20s and then locking down when we get into the red zone.
Gotcha.
And I don't trust JJ McCarthy or Wentz to score many touchdowns if they get into our red zone.
Okay.
So I see the score being Eagles 24, Vikings 14.
All right. My concern this game is our lack of pass rush along with not having Q. And I do believe that is going to be an issue. My biggest thing here, Jay, is if I could be more confident with our offense, I would believe it would be a shootout, and I believe that we would win. What I'm concerned is if we can't get this running ground off the game against this defense, we are in big trouble.
And so let me put a caveat to that.
Okay.
We will run the ball, and we will possess the ball more. And that's a better defense, keeping their offense off the field.
Okay.
So it's game control is another thing that will be a key in this game. And that's why I have it with a kind of a low score, not a shootout, but us possessing the ball way more.
Okay.
And if our first drive is 7 minutes, it'll be a clear indication of what I'm talking about.
All right.
I'm not worried about how we play. It's how much time we're taking off the clock and how efficient we are. And keep the ball, keep making first downs, keep the ball. I want to see Jalen Hurts a long time in this game, just on the field constantly.
All right. I'm going to do the wussy thing here. If the Eagles get the ground game going, I think the Eagles win 20-17. If we don't get the ground game, I believe the Vikings would win 28-14.
It won't be that close.
I hope not. I hope not. By the way, Jackson Dart is the 11th youngest quarterback ever to start against the Eagles. And he beat us, so he's the 11th starter. But anyway, here's the other part of the trivia question. Who is the youngest QB ever to beat the Eagles? So the trivia question is, what date did all four teams lose, or all three teams lose, by the way, for the we have just the greatest thing. So we talked about how the Flyers, Phillies, and Eagles lost on the same day. When did that happen before? And who were the only other teams to do that? The other question is, who was the youngest QB ever to beat? Even though the Jackson Dart is the 11th youngest to beat us, who was the youngest quarterback ever to beat us? If you know the answer, we want to hear from you. And as always, we have prizes for you. We have a whole shop at BroadStreetMissouri.com. Go to that shop, pick out what you want, be the first person to answer in the comments, and we will send it out to you. That is going to include our night tonight. You've got all the wrap up from the previous game. You've got our preview for the next game, as always, here on the Fly Eagles Fly podcast. We got our 4 points, game balls. We got our drama queen. And of course, we have our top 5, and we talk about the NFL in general. So please tune in every week. We love to hear from you. Catch us on Apple Tunes, catch us on Spotify for a replay of this. We also have our clips that are going to be going on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Thank you for following us. Thank you for tuning in tonight. As always, I'm Corey Alexander, along with
Jay Bliss,
the very angry Jay Bliss. And he'll be here to fight me all year. So check back in to see how I can piss him off every time, and we'll be here for you. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you. We'll see you next week, 9 o'clock Tuesday. We love you. Out.
Go Birds.